Welcome, beautiful friends. I am so glad you are here, and I truly mean that. I know I had a lot of people reach out and say that they can't wait for this one, but they couldn't be here. So I'm glad that you're able to be here, whether you're live or watching this in replay. Gang, I'm Leslie L. Harrington, and I want to thank you for being a part of this beautiful life community conversation. So, as we get started today, this is not a class or a plan. This is really a conversation. Today is about understanding our body differently. So as we arrive, let's just take a nice big inhale and then out through the mouth. Do that a few times just to kind of come into this moment. Inhale through the nose and a slow sigh, exhale out through the mouth. This space is really for learning, reflection, and reconnection. You don't have to have it all fixed today. You don't have to prove anything. Just show up for yourself right here. That's all that matters. Just get ourselves comfortable. And I actually shortened up a little bit of the different areas so we can make this a little quicker for us today, just because I want to make it so that everybody can appreciate, right? With our time, sometimes we don't have the 45 minutes to join together. So I'm glad we're going to just get a time to connect. And please stay toward the end because, I'm going to share an invitation for those who feel called to do deeper work like this ongoing support. No pressure at all. Tonight is complete on its own. I'm just really glad you're here. So I'll keep this short. I've spent 25 years working with women through different stages in their life. And what I've seen over and over is it's not that women aren't trying. It's that what we used to do has stopped working. We may have felt that. I've been hearing that a lot in conversations. So let's get a little bit about what tonight looks like. Okay. This is not a book report. This is real life. And I say that we're inspired by the Wisdom of Your Body book by Hilary McBride. And I do these with inspiration, but I bring it forward in an idea that you can read it, you can have read it, you can read it down the road, or you don't need to, because this time is here for you. Just show up as you are. This is a space to reflect, to journal, definitely have a pen close by and take notes, journal, see what comes up for you and start to notice the relationship with our body in a different way. Because most women don't actually have space like this. And honestly, this is the kind of conversation that we regularly do inside the BeautiFULL Life Community membership. Real, honest, without pressure. Now let's start here. What used to work doesn't anymore. That may fully resonate with you, or maybe you're starting to feel that way. And when that happens, most of us assume, or we're told, that we must be doing something wrong. But what if that's not true? Honestly, this is one of the biggest things women in the community are saying. They feel like they're doing everything right, but nothing is working the same anymore. As we just hear this, what does this bring up for us? Even I've been told, well, you could just work harder. Or maybe you're just not doing the same things that you were thinking you were doing, right? I actually had one client recently tell me that their doctor told them, well, they should just do more. It's like, well, okay. I know things change, but just see what that feels like for us when we're like, things aren't used to working the way that we're used to. Or what I've been noticing, catching myself, and I've committed to hopefully rephrase this. Well, it's just I'm getting older. That's not the excuse anymore, right? because actually things do change. But it's really about that our body isn't the problem, it's the relationship with it. And that evolves. This is where everything starts to shift. Our body's always trying to keep us safe, and it's always choosing safety over change. If our body doesn't feel safe physically, emotionally, or even mentally, it won't prioritize things like energy or consistency or weight loss, which is why we can be doing everything right and still feel like nothing is working because our body isn't failing, it's protecting. And this is the work that we need to be looking at. Not fixing the body, but rebuilding trust with it. Because once things change, everything else starts to follow. When our body feels safe, it becomes responsive again. I'll bring up some principles on Ayurveda and bring it together with Western science to kind of drive that whole idea home. So, one of the quotes from the books or the idea from The Wisdom of the Body, we don't need to fix the body, we just need to learn how to listen, right? Think of we've been taught to fix, control, do more, override. This is from a very young age that we're taught this. Push through fatigue, ignore hunger cravings, override stress. What stress? We don't have stress. But the signals speak loud and clear. And that disconnect from the body is actually saying something to us. But here's what it's really interesting. Our body is consistently sending signals through our nervous system. Sensations, tension, fatigue, cravings. And these are not random. They're actually a communication. And the problem is, most of us have never been taught how to interpret these signals. Or if we do, we take them just as an external face value type of thing. And this is something that The Wisdom of Our Body, that book, speaks to beautifully. The body isn't something to control. It's something to relate to. Ah. Yoga philosophy, we talk about this all the time, right? We are the observer, the witness behind all of those signals. That changes the dynamic of it and the conversation. So, what if the goal isn't to fix it? What if it's to listen? Truly listen, not just hear some of these things, but to kind of understand them at a depth. Because when we truly listen with that depth, our body actually becomes more responsive. And for many women, this is the moment things start to shift. Now, I'll try not to bring up too much research, but I want to bring up just a little bit. Research in the nervous system regulation shows that awareness is actually the first step to changing patterns in the body. Quite interesting, right? We ignore them, we don't change them. So when we stop forcing and start understanding, our body stops feeling like something's we're trying to fight and starts to feel like something that we can work with. So that's what's going on underneath all this. Recognize some of these things on the slide. Stress, hormones, our nervous system, life transitions. Did I cover it all? That captures quite a bit, doesn't it? This isn't just physical. This is the whole system adapting. Our body is constantly trying to keep us safe. And one of the main ways it does that is through our nervous system. When our system is under stress, even low levels, ongoing stress, our body shifts into protective mode, which means, get this, our metabolisms can slow down. Our body holds on to energy instead of using it. Our brain focuses more on survival than clarity. When I trained with Dr. Daniel Amen, he talks about this in brain health. When the brain feels stressed or unsafe, it doesn't prioritize growth or change, it prioritizes protection. So you can be doing everything right and still feel like our body is not responding because our body doesn't make mistakes. I'm going to say that again. Our body doesn't make mistakes. It makes adjustments. In Ayurveda, we talk about this really in depth. Like, what is our craving, right? Not just, oh, I smell pizza, I want pizza, right? Or I'm tired, so I'm going to rest. But it's like, what is the depth behind that craving? The true craving underneath it. So our body's not making a mistake. We often override it and don't make adjustments for it. And then our body becomes out of balance. So if we just know that we need to make adjustments to what it's saying, once we understand that, we stop fighting it. And this is also echoed in The Wisdom of the Body, that book. The book is a nice, easy read if you'd like to, but I'm giving you most of the topics here, the high points. The body isn't something to fix, it's something to understand. So if your body has felt differently, less predictable, harder to read, this is why. Our body will always choose safety over change. So the real questions become, how do I create enough safety for change to happen? Let that one resonate. Let that one hit. I'm going to say it again. How do I create enough safety for change to happen? Even something like weight changes can actually be our body trying to support us. Did you know that as estrogen declines, right? When we get into perimenopause in those late 30s, early 40s, estrogen starts to decline and then goes on from there. The body may actually hold onto a little more fat because fat tissue can help with estrogen production. So even a small increase in weight can be productive for the body, supporting things like bone health and overall stability. So again, this isn't our body working against us. It's our body adapting. Our body isn't trying to look a certain way. It's trying to keep us alive and stable and supported. Now, some people are really going to love this next one here. This is something that I see all the time with my clients. Disconnection doesn't just show up in one place. It shows up in the mind, in the heart, the gut, the body. After everything we just talked about, like stress and hormones, nervous system, this is how it often shows up in real life. Sometimes when we say we feel disconnected, what we really mean is we just don't know how to interpret what we're feeling anymore. That's different, right? Some people are like, oh, yeah, I'm feeling disconnected. Some people have actual words and vocabulary around that. But if you don't have vocabulary around that, don't know how to interpret it, it's just like we don't even know what we're feeling. Maybe that resonates more. So you might feel it in our head with overthinking, second guessing. This one a lot of my clients have. I'm in my head all the time. I'm like thinking and thinking and thinking, or feel anxious. Or if we're disconnected from our chest or it sits in our chest, we feel this heaviness. Often grief feels it in our chest, right in our lungs. That pressure or that emotional shutdown where we can feel disconnected in that area or start to feel heaviness or pressure in that space. Or in our gut. Well, our gut is like our second brain, right? It's kind of, we have that sixth sense, that gut feeling. But if we're not connected, it can feel like tension, like even just pressing into the gut in different areas in the belly. You're like, why is that so tight? Or why does that feel weird? We're not supposed to have pain in different areas in our belly. It can be uncertainty. It can look like not trusting ourselves. And overall, our overall body can feel like fatigue, low motivation. Like I'd like to do that, but I just don't feel like I can or want to. Or resistance. And what we've been taught to do is override it all. When I work with my clients one-on-one deeply, I use a more detailed map and I draw from Chinese medicine and Ayurveda to understand the patterns in the body. But we don't need to get into the complexities of all that right now. The most important thing is your body already speaks. We just need to learn to listen to it again. So either journal about this or just think about this right now. Where do you notice things most right now? In our head, that overthinking, that mental fatigue, or in the chest, or trying to protect ourselves, emotional shutdown, or just checking out in that area? Or do we feel it in our gut? Sometimes our stomach gets upset. That loss of trust of ourselves or others, or just in our body overall, tightness or aches, low motivation, especially fatigue. So just write that down or notice it for yourself. Where is it for you right now? And sometimes with my clients, I tell them, guess what? If you don't even know right now, pretend that you know and just guess, like make an educated guess. Right now, I'm feeling, because if when we are disconnected, we don't even know, right? So it's that rephrasing it as, okay, something's off. So even inside of our Beautiful Life Community membership, we go deeper into this. So you can actually understand our bodies as opposed to just guessing. So this is the shift. I want to give you some things to actually do, right? You don't have to force change. You shift your state. Doesn't it feel much easier? And from that place, our body responds differently. When our nervous system shifts, our brain chemistry shifts. So this is not just positive thinking, right? Our body moves out of protection mode and into a state where we can actually adapt. So it's not just mind shift, positive psychology, all those things. Up to 90% of women experience change of body composition in perimenopause and menopause. So if things feel different in our body, we're not imagining it. Our metabolism responds differently. Our energy becomes more available when we shift. Our body becomes more receptive to change. And in Ayurveda, which is a sister science to yoga, it's 5,000-year-old, like ancient wisdom about the body, about this manual of you, how to take care of our body. We don't start forcing outcomes. We start to restore balance within the system. When the system is balanced, the body naturally regulates itself. Oof, I'm going to say that one again. When the system is balanced, the body naturally regulates itself. Our body is a really smart mechanism. It can heal itself if we give it the right circumstances to do so. So real change doesn't come from pushing harder. It comes from working with our bodies instead of against it. And this is what we can practice together, not just talk about it. This shift alone changes everything. Get ready. Okay. So these small shifts here, the language that we use is everything. It changes our relationship with our body. We have to start catching our thoughts. Just look at the screen on the slide and see some of these. Are any of these recognizable to you? I need to lose weight. We shift that. As my energy improves, my body responds. Or I need more discipline. We can change that too. I need better alignment. There's a huge thing from pushing to allowing. And it sounds like it's kind of made up. For me, it felt like it was something so far out there that I didn't understand the concept, that it was too woo woo, or if it was like, yeah, I gotcha, but not really. So when we start to crave the good things like meditation or balance, we know we're in the right spot. So if you feel like you should push harder, we can say, I move towards strength and steadiness. Notice how these on the screen feel different. One is force and one is support. They are not just mind tricks. This is really how we start to create safety in the body again. And this is much easier to do when you're not doing it alone. This is where compassion comes in. Most of us have been taught to judge our bodies. Hello, society. Like, even like, why am I tired? Why can't I lose weight? Why am I like this? Have you ever caught those thoughts in your head or actually saying them out loud? But what if instead of judging this, we got curious? Ah, that's the shift. Let's try this together for a moment. Okay. We're going to practice this. So, really do this. Do it for you. So, just take a moment, take a breath. If you're comfortable, close your eyes. Now, ask ourselves, what am I feeling in my body right now? Not what do you think? What are you actually feeling? Is there tension, heaviness, warmth? Could be nothing at all. There's no right question, right answer for this. Now ask ourselves, what might my body need right now? That's it. That's listening. The more we practice, the easier it becomes to really know those subtle whispers within our body of wisdom, as opposed to those quick observations. Oh, I need to eat. I need to move. I need to do this on my to-do list, right? This is the part where we're not meant to do alone. Hearing others saying, me too, everything changes, right? When we hear stories of other people going through this and what's worked for them, or what, that you're not alone in this, can feel so empowering. And if anything came up for you right now, jot it down, or feel free to share it with me. This is the kind of space that we create inside the Beautiful Life Community membership, where you're allowed to slow down enough to hear yourself. When your body feels supported, it becomes more responsive. So, just a real conversation with yourself, okay? You can journal this or just kind of feel it within the body space or just notice. What have you been saying to yourself about your body? Real talk. What have you been saying to yourself about your body? And if nothing comes up right now, just start to think about that as you move through the next day or so. Write it down somewhere or just be aware of it. What has felt different in your body lately? What has felt different in your body lately? Where have you been overriding yourself? Where have you been overriding yourself? When I would talk to my community of women, it can be sleep. Sleep's so important, especially in our second half of life, becomes even more important. We don't have the buffer to keep the stress all away and the repair. So, where are we overriding ourselves? What signals have we been ignoring? And what would support feel like instead of pressure? What would support feel like instead of pressure? This is where it becomes real. This is what I love most about working with women in our communities and touching base with my one on one clients. When women are realizing that they're not the only one feeling this way. So let's make the smallest shifts, okay? This is what actually looks like in real life. Not big overhauls, not starting over every Monday, small shifts. Eating in a way that actually supports your energy, not restricts it. Wow. This is something I did for a long time. I under dieted for so long, not on purpose, but just because I was busy. Strength training in a way that builds resilience. I was just talking with one of my clients the other day, and they were like, "Oh, did you know that the doctors are recommending strength training, that muscle's important in the second half of life?" I'm like, thank goodness they're actually saying that. I love this. But it was like, it was a surprise for them. Like, oh, so strength training in a way that builds resilience without burnout. And then I had another client just the other day say to me, guess what? I took a stumble, but I didn't fall because I've been working out with my strength training and building muscles when all of my friends, they've been falling and really hurting themselves. One even broke their nose. Or letting ourselves rest without feeling like we've fallen off of track. And just noticing patterns instead of judging ourselves for them. This is how change actually happens. Not by doing more, but by doing the things differently and staying with it long enough for our body to respond. So often we don't. Like we should have seen something change by now, but that's usually right before we see the change that we give up. And honestly, this is where most women get stuck. They keep starting over instead of staying what actually works. And having support really matters because this isn't about willpower. It's all about connection and consistency. So I hope you have a few really great takeaways from your dialogue with yourself, with your body, and how that can change. I'd like to transition just a little bit about that offer I was mentioning. If any of this resonates, this is exactly why I created the BeautiFULL Life membership because women need somewhere to go when what used to work stops working. This BeautiFULL Life community is where women who are capable, thoughtful, quietly tired of holding everything on their own. If your body feels different, if your energy isn't what it used to be, and if are craving depth instead of just noise, this is your place. Tonight's conversation is just a small taste of what we explore together inside the BeautiFULL Life community. It's a gathering, a space for women 40 and beyond who are ready to step in their next chapter, not with pressure or perfection, but with presence, grace, and real support. Let me show you what it looks like inside. This isn't just information, it's actual structure, support, connection. There's movement classes that support joints, hormones, nervous system regulation, not punishment, not pushing. Mindfulness circles where we're isn't just about zoning out or escaping from life. It's about real stress recovery so that we can meet life with more capacity. There's master classes to help you understand why your body's responding differently, what actually helps instead of guessing or blaming ourselves. We have live mind body yoga classes, somatic movement, gentle strength, designed for where we are now. No pushing, just intelligent movement for real women. Something I'm truly proud of too. A portion of every membership supports Yoga Gives Back, which is a charity, a nonprofit empowering women and children out of poverty through education and microloans, really making changes. So when you say yes to yourself, you're creating a ripple effect beyond this space. I'll drop a link into the chat. So when you have a moment, you can walk through it yourself. And if you feel aligned, join us in this space. And a special offer right now, I really want to make it accessible for everyone. If you feel aligned, this is here for you. For those of you who have a quiet yes, no pressure, I've opened a special thank you for those who have attended. You can join for just $29 or it's $27.99. Or you could choose from the annual membership. Both give you access to everything we talked about today, the classes, the conversations, the master classes, the community. This isn't about locking yourself into another list of to-dos. It's about giving yourself a place to land. I've added the link in the chat. You can always go to www.livebeautifull.com. And if you've been waiting for the right time, this really might be it, because this chapter gets to feel different. This isn't about joining anything. We have a spring reflection challenge coming up. You get instant access to the full library of classes with live events calendar coming up. So you get support through the season ahead. So if you've been thinking, I don't want to do this alone anymore, or I actually want support that fits my life right now, this is the moment. You don't need to be more disciplined. You don't need to be more motivated, just the right environment. You can actually just take your phone over that little QR code and click the link there also. So whether you joined us just now or simply take this conversation forward, this is not the beginning of the end. This is the beginning of something more aligned. And if you're not quite ready yet, not to worry. Come to our next free conversation. This one is going to be a big one. We've already got many people signed up for this one. Hormones, energy, and our body. What's actually going on? So in our second half of life, hormone shifts change our energy, our sleep, our mood, our weight distribution. We've talked in the past with some of these other free conversations about how to work out in our second half of life or how to have longevity. And this is going to be hormone specific. So we're going to be loosely based off of the book, The New Menopause with Dr. Mary. And if you follow her at all, she is involved in a couple of movies that have come out recently and launching. And so I'm actually going to bring in not just her information, but also a certification I'm finishing up with Dr. Stacy Sims about hormones. And so we'll be talking all about that, right? It's not just about hormone replacement or anything like that. We could choose to do that or not choose to do that, but to know what's going on with our body is so important. So feel free to save this date, register if you'd like. I'll add it into the chat also, so you can sign up for that and you can join us. It's on April 29th. So it's a Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I hope you join us. We have these on a regular basis, but you can also join us in the BeautiFULL Life Community membership, where we get together more often and whenever you're ready. So I want to leave you with this. Not everything needs to be healed right now, but everything wants to be included. And that includes you. So thank you so much for spending a part of your time here, willing to reflect, grow, and connect. It means more to me than you know. And just by being here, you've already done something powerful. You've already chosen courage. You've already taken the step to connect. You're already dared to be great. So if you're feeling called to dive deeper, whether it's through the BeautiFULL Life community or personal coaching, I'd be honored to support you in whatever life transitions you're experiencing. I specialize in helping women strive and thrive in their health, their mindset, through Western medicine and through the yoga philosophy. I'd love to connect if you feel aligned. So thank you so much as you're here today. Hopefully you're feeling a little lighter or braver. I'd love to see what stirred with you today. So feel free to reach out or comment. And remember, you're already more resilient and ready and radiant than you know. I hope to see you again very soon.